to Belmont Bunch at long last, back in front of the whiteboard in my basement. In my studio. Let's talk about hockey, though. Didn't intend for that to be a rhyme. We'll roll with it. The New York Islanders win a hockey game for first time in 2 weeks because they didn't play for about 2 weeks. So first period was really interesting because I was wondering what that would look like. A team that hasn't played in 2 weeks, playing against a team with an E-bug as their backup and a not very experienced starter in John Gillies. So, I was very interested to see what that would look like. And it was surprisingly offensive and attacking focused. I guess for the Islanders, giving up that many shots in the first, a little bit of, Barry Trotz is not there. I wonder how much that affects, the Islanders in terms of structure. I'll get into some Barry Trotz, affiliated stuff as we go on. But the Islanders looked energetic offensively, getting into the offensive zone, getting into forechecking, creating chances. Seeing the kids play is really, really exciting. And not having Pajot, but Zarnik playing again. I'm glad that Zarnik keeps getting chances because I think he's been filling in pretty well. Parise played well on that line tonight. Ross Johnston was in for Martin. He took a penalty at one point tonight. Thankfully, it was 2-2. But yeah, the Islanders, they go behind despite playing all right. And it is not really one that you could put on them defensively, even though they gave up a lot of shots in the first. Yegor Sharangovich, which is one of my favorite names to say. And I believe I spelled it right. And I believe so. But he does a nice little inside-out move on Scott Mayfield. But this is a shot from a good way out, kind of top of the circle at an angle. And Ilya Sorokin looking a little bit rusty there because that one goes in off his pads. Definitely should get stopped. Don't think there was much of a screen there. Needs to get stopped. Absolutely needs to get stopped. And I think he knew that. He did, looked a little bit dejected after that one, but he did respond. He played generally better. A few too many rebounds. One in the third period that was a little bit, but we'll get into that. So 1-0 on the Sharangovich goal. The Islanders get a power play. There were a lot of penalties in this first period. The Islanders got one early, got a power play on a tripping call where Ryan Graves, at first I didn't think it was a penalty, but then he, on the super slow-mo, left the leg out there to trip Bo. Bo, who drew 2 penalties tonight. The second one was a hook, and I think it was a lot of, getting his arm tangled purposely. And so good job by Bo getting calls tonight, I suppose. And generally, I think skating pretty well. So that's something because Bo needs to get going. So he draws a penalty. The Islanders' power play has looked really good. Josh Bailey ends up being the beneficiary on this one. A couple of really good shots. Sebastian Aho, who's another player out, having a kid tonight, so congrats to him and JG. But Robin Salo, great pass. It's not a crazy pass, but good pass and a great play by Bo, though, to kind of fake that one-timer, get the defense to commit a little bit, hold on to it, draw it back in, and creates a lane for himself that gets a shot off, and Josh Bailey pounds home the rebound. And it was a nice game for Josh Bailey, and I'm very happy to say that because I don't like getting on him because he has had really, really, really difficult start to this year. It has not been great. But he gets one there, and it's 1-1 after one. The Isles in the second period come out, and I thought played generally well. Sorry, I want to go back to one more thing. There was another power play late in the first that was generally good, but behind his own net, Barzal threw one right out in front to a Devils player, and thankfully the shot got stopped by Sorokin. I'm pretty sure, as I alluded to, Barry Trotz would have had him benched for that. It was a pretty bad pass, to be fair to Barry. So, 1-1 after one. The Islanders in the second period creating some chances. Adam Pelech gets one. It starts with good forechecking by the Islanders, getting the puck back out top. Parise, a little bit of a screen in front. And luckily, a little bit of a fortunate bounce there also off a Devils player. It goes in. Good job putting the puck on net. The Islanders, that's something that they don't always do. They I feel like 25 is like a regular shot night for them. And, for a lot of other teams, that is, not their final shot total. But anyway, so 2-1 Islanders. We're in the third. We're feeling good. And Nathan Bastian tips one in off a power play. The Islanders definitely needed to cut down. I know the refs were kind of on it tonight. They're kind of, calling every little thing, but the Isles got to stop giving excuses to the refs. Brock Nelson took a cross-check later in this period that almost proved costly. Actually, I think that was the one that proved costly. Yes, it was. Brock, everyone's got to know the rule this year is a lot stricter on cross-checks, and this is one also right by the boards, and it was a picture, perfect cross-check motion. So you just have to be. You just got to get that out of your game at this point because they're calling it every chance they get. So the Devils score very quickly into that one. First 15 seconds, Nathan Bastian in front. Nobody really on him. Tips it home. Great tip. As Butch pointed out in the broadcast, probably a little bit fair to say that Sorokin is playing a little bit too deep in his net there. But I don't want to get on him for, the fact that nobody got on Bastian, lifted the stick, put a body on him. So, that's what that is. So we're 2-2, and late third, a moment of magic where Josh Bailey really, solidified that this was his best offensive game of the year for sure. Josh Bailey, or Matthew Barzal takes the puck into the zone, just under 5 minutes left, passes to Bailey. Great little weave here where Barzal passes, goes to the middle, and Josh Bailey draws in two defenders, and PK Subban should be on Matt Barzal, but isn't, and Josh Bailey just hands it right back to Matt Barzal, rips one over the shoulder of Gillies, and the Islanders would survive. It was really, 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 really big to see, first of all, Josh Bailey have a good game, but also to see Matt Barzal, continue. He was playing well before the pause for us. Like I said in the last minute, with the goalie pulled, the Islanders really, really, really had to battle there. Sorokin did a good job of kicking some stuff out. There was a big net front scramble. But generally, the Islanders did a good job of, I think, getting close, pressing a little bit to the puck, making the Devils make some mistakes after they were bailed out by Sorokin and company on that first flurry. And then did a good job of just dumping the puck out, not committing icings. Textbook, good job. We don't score empty netters in the regular season. We score all of them in the playoffs. Hopefully we get to the playoffs. This is a good way to start that. The Islanders really got to beat teams like the Devils. No offense to the Devils, but they're just fine-ish. Not really. They're under 500. They're not great. But you got to beat these teams and got to start building momentum because despite having a lot of games in hand, the Islanders have a lot of points still to make up. And, I keep going like, well, if they win all of the games they have to make, that's, we obviously know that's going to not happen, or it'll be a battle. They could pull the Penguins and win 10 games in a row. We did it a couple years ago. Anyway, really exciting game, really fun game to watch. I think anything would have been fun after, going 2 weeks without watching them. But, my brother was at the game tonight with his friends. They got a good game, and I'm trying to get there for the Capitals game on Saturday. Just really exciting, fun game. I think, not really a lot of lowlights in terms of, players for me to pick on this time, which is good. I like that. So that's it from Belmont Bunch. So happy to be back, and hopefully we'll get the midweek video that we usually do, the podcast, back going again. So anyway, before we go, link in the description for Apple Plus and all the pluses. Spotify, that doesn't have a plus yet. But that's it. We'll see you next time from Belmont Bunch. Thank you.